afternoon, everybody. It's me, Jessica, your health fitness program manager for Miter McLean. And I'm here today to guide you through a yin yoga practice in which we're going to focus on the feet and the legs. We'll also get a little bit of the hips, a tiny bit of stretching of the upper body, but it's really going to be mostly a lower body focus today. We're going to stay close to the floor. I recommend bringing 2 blocks for yourself. You might not need them at all, but always better to have some props around and be prepared. We're going to start in 2 minutes in Sukhasana. Yes, but if you're here early, take these next 2 minutes. Lay down on your back and enjoy a little Savasana. Start to come into your breath, change your mental channel. Yay! Yin Yoga. If you want to grab some water for yourself, you probably won't really need to drink much water during class. It's a nice, slow, restorative practice. Maybe take a couple sips of water. Right now, before we get started, having a lot of plants is awesome. Trying to keep everything watered in this weather is a challenge. I'm so proud of this Christmas cactus over here. I have no idea why they call it a Christmas cactus. Felt a little weird buying one. Used to have a wandering Jew. Felt a little weird about that plant name too. Man, I treated that plant so poorly, and it just kept kicking. Off in case we get any emails. Okay, there's my other block. I don't even, it's probably, that's right. Oh my gosh, I have a total earworm. Super earworm right now. Also, the miter hold music when you call the help desk, man, stuck in my head. Real hard today, just on hold for a super hot minute. I asked the guy in IT, hey, do you ever listen to the help desk music? He said, no. Here, it's awful. I said, can't stop thinking about it. Can't stop thinking about it. Okay. Yeah, you guys, it's 4:30. So go ahead, make some space for yourself. Come on down here to your mat, and we will get started with an awesome yin yoga practice after I bribe the bird with a couple peanuts. Does anyone watching have to bribe their family members? She is my sister bird with snacks or activities so that you can get your workout on. At least it's a inexpensive high protein snack. Okay. All right, we're coming back into that Sukhasana, just some sort of a seated cross-leg position, finding what's comfortable for you. Remember, if you're feeling really tight and it's hard for you to relax those knees down closer towards the floor, if you find that your knees are coming up towards your chest, find a block right now that you can sit on, a prop to help you just feel a little bit more relaxed and comfortable. You might even want to shift your weight a little bit from side to side. Just shake out any tension in your glutes, in your lower back, upper back, and then find your way to your stillness. Notice as you start to come into your stillness, what's happening with your spine? Are you overarching or rounding your back? If you find that that's the case, place your hands on your knees, palms face down, for a little bit of grounding to work to straighten that spine And just start to come into your breath, relaxing and releasing your shoulders away from your ears. Do your best as you're breathing through class today to keep this awesome space that you create from your shoulders, from your ears. Try not to let your shoulders rise up while you're breathing. That is a big sign of stress, and we are just working to melt any and all stress away. How about we take 3 minutes right here, starting off with a nice 3-minute posture, easy pose, just to come into your breath. Feel free to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, or in through your nose and out through your nose. If you can, just do nostril breathing. I absolutely encourage it as a great way to really slow down your breath and also to cool down your body. If you're breathing out through your mouth, you're exhaling lots of hot air, you're putting extra hot air into your space. If you're breathing through your nose, it can really just help to cool you and the room down a little bit more. I know it sounds crazy, but you know what? Whatever, sometimes I sound crazy, and that's fine. Start to notice if there's any parts of your body that are feeling a little bit more tense, where you're having trouble relaxing and releasing any muscles. I know I feel a lot of tension right now in my lower back, so I'm really working to inhale in all of that awareness and energy to my lower back and exhale out discomfort. We've got a minute and a half left here. If you haven't come into your stillness, now is the time. Sometimes the hardest thing about a yin practice is really just staying here in your stillness. This is a pretty simple posture, but some of the postures that we do in class, maybe not today for you, but other days might be a real challenge. You might notice a lot of just, I don't want to say strain, but that it takes effort to hold on to your stretches for a little bit longer. And that's where the mindfulness component comes in. If you can hang out for a little bit longer than usual in your yin poses and find a way to just breathe through it, relax your mind, if you can do that right here on your mat today, you can do that anywhere. Coming into our last 3 to 4 breaths in Sukhasana. Two more breaths to just ground your sit bones down into the floor. Just finding that grounding and mindfulness right now. Okay. If you want to, you can stretch your legs out in front of you. We're going to take a lot of opportunities to just stretch our legs out in front of us, windshield wipe our feet, to relieve any tension that builds up in our legs or that maybe was already hanging out there. Next up, we're going to come into bound angle, and we're going to do it a little differently today. I think we've tried this before. We're going to go for some zipper toes. I have webbed feet, so if I can do it, I think you can do it too. Webbed feet are a sign of Chinese royalty, I like to tell myself. Okay, so you're just kind of working to literally take your toes like a zipper and alternately interlace your toes with each other. Just do the best that you can. You're setting an intention and enjoy it. We're gonna spend 3 minutes here in bound angle with zipper toes. Let's take our first minute, just staying nice and lifted. Once again, come into that relaxation of shoulders away from ears. If you need to, think about even using your props right now, placing some blocks between your knees and the floor. Yay, and come back into whatever zipper toe variety feels good for you. Find a place to just relax and release your hands. And if your eyes are open, you're focusing them on one spot. And it can be a soft focus, doesn't need to be laser focused in one area. Just take a soft gaze. Focusing on the stretch that we're creating in our lower halves, feel free to relax your upper body as much as you want to. No need to really keep that stomach sucked in and your core contracted. Here in yin, you can allow that belly to hang out just a little bit more. All right, we're 1 minute down. If you want to come a little bit deeper into your hips, you can always hinge forward here. Find what works for you, because we have 1.5 minutes left in our posture, and I only want you to come into a depth that you can hang out in your stillness for this 1.5 minutes. Feel free to allow your head to start to hang heavy down towards the floor, maybe creating a little bit of rounding in your upper back. And back to your breath. Can you breathe so deeply that you feel your rib cage expand along your back? Expanding on the inhale. Gentle, relaxing collapse on the exhale. Make sure you're still enjoying those nice, slow, deep breaths. Pausing at the top with your lungs full. Taking the opportunity to really push all of the stale air out of your diaphragm, and pausing at the bottom with your lungs empty. Giving yourself the opportunity that each breath can be a little bit deeper, longer, fresher, slower. Just bringing that freshly oxygenated blood in through our breath and mentally sending it to any spots in our body that are feeling tense. Can you relax your shoulders? Can you relax your eyes and eyebrows and upper body? Take the tension out of your mouth and jaw. And we'll do 3 more breaths right here. Slowly, gently lift yourself up. If you came forward, unzipper those toes. Send your feet out in front of you. Bring your hands down by your hips. Open up your chest for just a moment. Squeezing those shoulder blades together. Maybe elbows draw back behind you. Flex your toes back towards your face. We'll take a moment in staff pose. If your legs are super tight and it's uncomfortable for you to be in staff pose, simply bend your knees right here. We're not going to be here for very long. Just 5 breaths. Last big inhale, exhale. Great. Ooh, shake it out if you want to. Next up, we're going to go for fire logs. So go ahead, fold your left leg in. Think about having your shins, be parallel with the top of your mat. So not coming in all the way to the center line of your body. We're gonna really work to find this stretch in your hips and not your knees. So if you still feel comfortable right here with your shins lined up towards the top of your mat, then I encourage you to pick up your right foot, stack your right ankle on top of that left knee, and relax and release your right knee down to the left. If you found that trying to come here into your fire logs, you could not relax that right knee down on top of the left, simply place a block underneath of there. Be as supported as you want to be. You can relax your hands down by your side or place them on your legs. We've got just over 3 minutes left here in fire logs. If you're not feeling a deep enough stretch in those hips, You can once again begin to gently bring yourself forward. Feel free to allow that chin to tuck towards your chest. I'm just going to wiggle that bottom leg forward a little bit to make sure that my shins are parallel with the top of the mat. Remember, you're working to find the stretch right here in your hips, not in your knees. If you're feeling it in your knees, come back to a version of Sukhasana, of easy pose, and you can still take this gentle forward fold. Oh, I forgot. Oh my God. Lift yourself up. We're actually going to give ourselves a foot massage here. So bring your right thumb to the arch of your foot and just rub it out. You can use your left hand too, why not? We'll take one more minute, giving ourselves a massage. I know I live alone. The dog stinks at helping to scratch my back. So any sort of relaxation I give myself usually comes in yoga, or what I like to call adult swim, which is just me hanging out in my bathtub. Okay, 2 minutes left right here. You got 30 more seconds to just massage your foot gently. We're still keeping our hips still though. Focusing on the stretch that's happening there. Sometimes doing a little something else. This foot massage can be a gentle distraction from the stretch you're creating in your hips. Okay, for our last minute and a half here, we're going to come back to that gentle little forward fold as much as feels good for you. Nice job. Make sure that you found your stillness. You have 1 minute left right here. Just focus on your breath. How slow can you make it? How many breaths does it take for you to reach the end of this minute? My goal is usually to have about 5 to 6 breaths per minute. So taking that time to really focus on holding with lungs full, expanding your lung capacity, your rib cage, and then also taking a moment with lungs empty really helps to slow down your breath. Last 2 breaths right here. Gently begin to walk your hands back if you went for that forward fold. Bring your hands behind your hips, uncross your legs, place the soles of your feet on the floor, and just, gently windshield wipe those legs right and left. Feel free to roll a little bit on towards your opposite hip. We're going to do the same thing on the other side, because I want you to be able to give yourself a massage on both of your feet. All right, so this time, getting the bottom leg in line with the top of your mat, and just start by bringing your left foot in front. If this still feels comfortable for you, go ahead, pick up your left foot and place it on top of your right knee. Flex your toes towards each other if you hadn't done that last time. We'll just take 1 minute right here. Lifted, relaxing into the posture. Remember, both sides of the body are not the same, so maybe you find that you need a little bit of a prop on this side to help you relax and release that left knee a little closer towards the mat. A beautiful minute just passed of our stillness. Let's go ahead and give ourselves that nice massage on the left foot. So this time bringing your left thumb towards the arch of your foot and just making some circles, just finding what feels good for you today. We've got 1 minute here, and then we'll take our forward folds, if that feels good for you. If not, you can stay lifted. Remember, we're focusing on the stretch that is being created right now in our hips, and this foot massage is just a gentle distraction. If you're feeling it too much in your knees, no need to fire logs double stack here. Just come into Sukhasana, just work towards opening. Oh yeah, that's the spots. All right, time for our forward folds. So gently begin to walk your hands forward. Feel free to take some rounding in that upper back. Chin can tuck down towards the chest. Can you still relax and release your shoulders away from your ears though? Allow those elbows to hang heavy down towards the floor. Notice if you're creating any extra squeezing or tension in your glute. I noticed that I was just really applying a lot of pressure of my right glute into the floor, and I really had to send my breath to that space, to exhale back into the relaxation, into the awareness of just creating the stretch right now in your hips. Focus on those deep breaths. Once again, working to expand your rib cage, your lung capacity, and notice maybe your back waking up, spreading out just a little on your inhales. Last 2 to 3 breaths right here. All right, walk those hands back, sit yourself up, bring your hands by your hips. Once again, bend your knees, place your feet on the floor, move your props out of the way so you can enjoy the range of motion as you just, oh my gosh, bend your knees, windshield wipe your feet right and left. Just a couple more windshield wipes. All right, good news, bad news. Next up we have big toe stretch. So start off coming up into tabletop. If big toe stretch is a challenge for you, we're gonna be here for 2 minutes. I encourage you right now to take a block, a prop, and place it between your feet so that as you walk yourself back, you can be a little bit more lifted. I need to put my block this way. That works. You can be a little bit more lifted for a little bit more of a gentle toe stretch. But I really want you to focus on pressing your big toe all the way down through the pinky towards the floor. Relax those shoulders away from your ears. Your 2 minutes have already started. Back to your breath, to your stillness. Remember, we're trying to stay relaxed in our breath. So inhaling and expanding your diaphragm as opposed to inhaling and allowing shoulders to rise up to ears. If you want to, you can tuck your chin to your chest. Just find your stillness. way through right now. You've got just about 3 or 4 more super slow breaths right here. Keep pressing that big toe down into the floor, the ball of the foot touching down towards the mat. Last big breath. Go ahead, bring your hands back down towards the mat. Untuck your toes. If you had a prop between your legs, move it out of the way. We're going to shift our hips over so we can sit back down on our butts and just send those legs out in front of you once more. Bob your feet up and down. Make some circles with your toes. Crunch and release. Wiggle right and left. Awesome. Next up, we have half fire lock. Just half, or half shoelace. So I want you to take your right leg and cross it over your left. And that's it. Can you even work to stack your knee on top of the opposite knee? You can have your hands right here by your waist. If you want to feel the stretch even more, you can hinge forward. If this is a little bit too much on your left leg, just like before, you can always think about putting a prop under your bum just to be a little bit lifted. But try not to apply too much pressure if you do take this extra lift of your right knee in towards your left. I'm going to come back down off of my prop and just hang out right here. Focusing on the stretch in our legs. So if you want to be as schlumpy as you want to be right now, you're welcome to. I just find it a little bit more relaxing on my back and my chest to be a little lifted right here. You're doing awesome, you guys. We have 1 minute left in this half shoelace of sorts. Yoga postures are like snow to the Eskimos. How many names do they have for snow? How many different names have you guys heard for the same posture? I usually call what we started off with the zipper toes, bound angle. Jen calls it cobbler pose. Some people call it butterfly. Cobbler makes me think of shoes and dessert, but I'm also hungry right now. Last 3 breaths. Nice, gently uncross your legs, option to bob your feet and windshield wipe or shake your butt, whatever feels good. And then crossing that left leg over your right, wiggle that left foot as far over as you can get it, working to stack those knees, get your sit bones grounded. Down on the mat again. Can you even flex your right toes back towards your face to find some engagement through that right calf as well? Here we are, back to our stillness, to our mindfulness, and to our breath. have 1 minute left here. Take that tension out of your upper body for your last 4 breaths. Nice work. Awesome. Okay, next up we're going to come in and out of reverse tabletop as our counter posture to our half shoelace. So bend your knees, bring your hands down to the mat with your fingers pointing towards your bum. You can open your feet about hips width distance apart, open your shoulders and your chest, take a deep inhale as you lift yourself up, and exhale, lower yourself down. Let's do 5. Inhale up. Nice and slow. Exhale down. Nice and slow. Inhale up for 2 and down for 2. Up for 2 and down. Last 2. Up. Keep those big toes, pinkies ground on the floor. Make sure you're not rolling to the insides or outsides of your feet. Final 1. Exhale down. Awesome. We're going to go ahead and turn over. We're going to come into down dog. Yay. We won't be in down dog for too long. Go ahead, plant your hands on the floor underneath of your shoulders. Step your feet back, curling your toes under, balls of the feet come down towards the floor. Send your hips up towards the ceiling. And you can take as generous of a bend in your knees as you think about bringing your belly towards your thighs. And let us spend 2 minutes here in stillness. If being here in down dog does not honor your body today, if this is not working for your shoulders, just go ahead, drop your knees to the floor and come into child's pose. We'll just do 1 more minute right here. Inner thighs spiraling towards the back of the room, fingers spread nice and wide. Pressing your hands, palms down into the floor, especially finding stability in that fleshy part between your thumb and your pointer finger. Better to take a bend in your knees and work to bring your belly towards your thighs than to have your chest forward. Take your last 2 breaths here, and then we're going to come into dragon. Let's start with our right foot. So go ahead, maybe you want to walk your left foot a little closer towards the center of your mat. Bring yourself forward and bring high flying dragon. We've got about 2 minutes right here. If it is hard for you to reach down towards the floor, you can go ahead and use a prop. I want you to think about bringing that right hip back and left hip forward. Pull those shoulders away from your ears. This might be the most challenging posture that we have today. Are you still pressing the ball of your foot into the floor? One more minute right here. Relaxing and releasing shoulders from your ears. Using your breath to get rid of any other tension that you're feeling besides the stretch that we're creating in our lower half. Normal to feel some shaking and trembling. Find that focus with your eyes. Come back to your breath. 4 slow breaths right here. Awesome. Go ahead, relax and release your left knee down towards the floor. Untuck your toes. Wiggle your foot out to the right a little bit. Bring your hands down towards the mat if you can. And you're going to allow that right knee to fall out heavy towards the side, such that it feels like your heel might start to want to come up off of the floor. Try to keep that heel gently down towards the floor. We're going to spend 1 minute right here. Relax those shoulders away from your ears. Feel free to use your props as much as you want to. Last 3 breaths. Go ahead, tuck your left toes back under. Lift that left knee back off of the mat. Send your right leg back to meet with your left. Feel free to open those feet nice and wide. Come back into your down dog. Walk the dog for a second. Even twisting your hips a little bit right and left. Shake it out. And then let's go ahead and bring our left leg forward. Pressing the ball of the right foot into the floor. Feel free to use your props. If you can get all the way down with your forearms to the mat while still keeping that left knee, right knee in the air, go for it. I'm going to stay nice and lifted here and just focus on creating some length in my spine to try and eliminate a little bit of the rounding. Right hip comes forward, left hip goes back, and you have 1 minute left. So right now when things are getting hard, here's where the yoga is. Can you change your mental channel and think about anything else just to stay right here? This is why I like to focus on counting my breaths and keeping my breath really slow, because if I can just focus on the idea that there's about 3 slow breaths left right here, focusing on my slow inhale and my slow exhale helps to distract my mind from the deep stretch that we are creating in our hips right now. Take your final 2 breaths in your high flying dragon. Beautiful. Relax and release that right knee to the floor. Untuck your toes. Wiggle your left foot out to the side a little bit more and allow that left knee to fall heavy towards your side. Your hips might come a little closer towards the mat. The idea of your left heel starting to come off of the floor, we're working to try and create a little bit of a stretch in the Achilles, the back of the heel. Still showing a big stretch in those hips too. You've got about 4 breaths left right here. Awesome. Tuck your right toes back under, lift your right knee up off the mat, send your left leg back to meet it, and then just relax and release your knees down towards the floor. Let's send our hips back towards our heels. Take a moment right here in child's pose. It's
gonna be a quick child's pose today, just a little counter stretch. Feel free to walk those fingertips as far forward as you want to, maybe even pressing into the floor a little bit with your hands to create more of a stretch in the upper body, in the shoulders as you bring your hips towards your heels. Uncle Buck, we just finished down dog. You missed it. You missed it, bro. Thank you for demonstrating one for us, though. All right, bring yourself back up to tabletop and then sit your hips onto your heels. Next up, we're going to go for an ankle stretch. I'm gonna walk myself a little bit forward. You're gonna bring your hands behind you. Work to press your knees a little more towards the mat. Oh no, I lied. Instead of pressing your knees towards the mat, you're gonna lift your knees up, pressing the tops of your feet in towards the mat. So find a nice stretch on the front of our ankles. Whatever feels good with that upper body is great. Four more breaths right here. Yay, relax and release those knees down towards the mat. Shift your hips towards the side. We're gonna kick our legs out into full dragonfly for just a sec. When you get here, adjust your bum as much as you need to, and then we're just gonna point and flex, and point and flex. 8 more, pointing and flexing. Way to go, you guys. Final 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, we'll do just a couple more stretches together. Fold that left leg in. Sole of the left foot coming towards the right thigh. Get that right sit bone down on the mat. Flex your toes back towards your face and find a gentle forward fold. We'll do 1 minute here in our half dragonfly with forward folds. Feel free to come far as forward as feels good for you while you still feel those glutes in contact with the mat. Last 3 to 4 breaths. Walk those hands back in. Go ahead, kick your left leg out. Fold your right leg in. Get your sit bones grounded back down towards the mat. Flex your left toes back towards your face. And start to find the forward fold that feels good for you. Maybe you can't come super far forward. And remember, each side of our body is different. I definitely notice things are much more tense in my left inner thigh than I noticed in my right. And who knows, maybe when we practice again on Friday, it'll be different. All we can do is our best, and your best is always good enough. Whatever it is that you were able to do today is what was meant for you. Remember, sometimes the yoga is just about accepting what our capabilities are. It can be very humbling. Last 2 breaths right here.
Awesome. Gently lift yourself up. Go ahead, kick both legs out in front of you. Take your time. We're going to lay down on our backs. As we get there, draw those knees in towards your chest. Taking a moment here with knees to chest pose. Squeeze those knees in towards each other. A little bit of pressure of your thighs, stimulating your internal organs and also pushing those knees in towards each other. Maybe feeling some shaking, some trembling in those lower legs. Take 3 more breaths right here. Shoulders away from your ears. Chin gently tucked towards chest to get the back of your neck as flat on the mat as possible. Last deep inhale. And on your exhale, go ahead, send those legs out in front of you. Can you believe it's already time for our final Savasana? Make yourself as comfortable as possible here. Feel free to open those legs up a little bit wider, opening your arms up a little bit wider, but the closer that you keep everything towards the center line of your body, the easier it is for your body to circulate your freshly oxygenated blood through your entire internal system, just helping to send through the amazing awareness that you've inhaled in for every inhale, helping to break down scar tissue and any discomfort. Continue to exhale out those feelings of discomfort, all those things that you do not need, that don't serve you, sadness, tension, stress. Use your big exhales like you're blowing up a balloon, and then you let it go. It's gone. Enjoying your slow, meditative breath. Inhale, belly rises. Exhale, belly falls, and there's nothing else. All right, you guys, if you want to stay in your Savasana any longer, you're welcome to. I encourage you to try and stay here for another 2 minutes. Can you stay here for another 7 minutes? Give yourself a 10-minute Savasana. If you need to wrap your practice up, though, and you'd like to wrap it up together, feel free to draw your knees to your chest, maybe allow your knees to fall over to the side and press yourself up. Or rock yourself back up to a ball into Sukhasana. Easy pose of your choice. Once again, bring your hands palms to the center of your chest. Take this moment to honor yourself for making this time and space for your mental and physical health. If you have any questions or concerns about anything that we did today, please reach out. As always, continue to think good thoughts, speak good words, eat good foods, do good deeds, nourish yourself from the inside and outside towards others as well. I can't wait to see you guys all again soon. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your energy, not just with me, but with each other, with everyone you come into contact with. Namaste. Thanks, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's practice. I'll see you all again soon.